and welcome to the first video of Season 11. Today I will be talking about Yone, which is the newest champion I haven't talked about yet. And I think that he deserves all the attention he's getting, since Yone is a really good champion and is one of the strongest champions in mid lane right now. Let's have a look at runes. For Yone, there's probably only one working page. And it's Precision Tree with Conquer as your main rune, because you will have a lot of sustain and all your attacks will be able to heal you, so this one makes it even better. Next, you wanna go Triumph. You have no need for Presence of Mind since you have no mana, and you won't utilize Overheal because you will be in the front line most of the time, so you won't be able to overheal yourself. That's why I would go for Triumph every time. And now let's move to the more discussable part. You can go all of these three. If enemy team has a lot of CC, which just like Yasuo is what is able to kill you, you can go for Tenacity. As same way, if you want to heal a lot, you can go for Bloodline, but it's not necessary. You have a lot of healing in your build and other other abilities. Oh my god, sorry. So most of the time, again, I would go Alacrity since your Q and W scale with it really well. And last, you can go either Last Stand or Coup de Grace. Since you don't have that much health, I would almost always go for Coup de Grace. But if you know that there's gonna be a lot of extended fights, for example, they have a lot of bruisers, you can take Last Stand instead. For secondary rune, I would most of the time go for Domination with Taste of Blood for easier healing and sustain in lane, and Ravenous Hunter because again your Q and W are almost spammable abilities and it works really nice. If however you would want to go more tanky on, you can instead take Bone Plating and Font of Life. Of course, Bone Plating can be changed for Second Wind if you, instead of Hard Engage lane, go against Poking lane, for example, Oriana. And that could work too, but this Domination will work almost every time, except it's showing now. And for smaller runes, of course, you want 10% attack speed for offense. Thanks to you, as I said, free usage for that. Adaptive force on flex, and on defense, you can go for shield. Oh my god, magic resist or armor. But since you're on mid lane and mid laners are probably gonna be AP, since mages are having a bit of a comeback now. And there's gonna be ADC and junglers who are on the other side, usually AD. I would always go for health because that's universal. Although if your mid laner is, I'll take it like this. If your mid laner and jungler are the same damage, take one of these two. That's corresponding to their damage. Otherwise, take health. And that's gonna be everything for runes. And I'll see you in the game while I'll go over everything else. First off, as always, summoner spells. You want to take Ignite and Flash because you are quite strong early and late game, and Ignite helps you a lot with dueling and or other kinds of fight, and Flash is a must be. So, now to the itemization. Before anything, keep in mind that with Season 11 launch, you don't have to follow some favorite builds because you will always have the ability to build as you wish. But here are some items that I could recommend. As with Yasuo, you wanna start with Duran's Blade and one Health Potion. If you would be forced to come back soon, you can always go and purchase your second Duran's Blade. Then, if you would be able to get a kill in lane, which is pretty often, you can start and go for your boots and possibly Berserker Greaves. And as always, I forgot about something. As I said, your Berserker Greaves. Uh, since they are really cheap compared to your other items, and thanks to these two scaling with your attack speed, you will be able to do a lot. Your second item, well, you can see them in the suggested ones, should be one of these two, either Kraken Slayer or Shield Bow. I'll take Shield Bow if you know that you would go into a fight a lot of healing and they're gonna be really long. Kraken Slayer probably in any other any other game because thanks to its passive, which grants you more attack speed, it makes you even stronger. For your second item, oh, second. For your third item, most of the time you can go Infinity Edge because with the new update and your passive, which gives you double crit chance, you are able to utilize it much sooner than most other enemies. You see, I'm on 2 items and already have 32% increase. So that's it. Or instead of that, you can try to go for Gwynso's Rage, Gwynso's Rage Blade, but thanks to the, I'd say, buff to Infinite Edge, I would most of the time go for this one. Another item is going to be Collector. Thanks to, again, finishing your 100% crit chance and giving you that execute damage, which you are going to use very well thanks to your E and your whole kit. After that, you can go for some defensive items. So if you're against strong AP team comp, I would recommend going for Abyssal Mask because again with recent changes, she is or she it is oh my god, it is really it is really good, and you have two abilities that imply CC, so you should be able to work with that one. Otherwise, if you want to go more tanky, you can go for Ravenous Hydra, which in this season works really well with Yone, and you can go for it if you want to be tanky. Otherwise, I would go for the Death's Dance because you get your well, you get denied most of the damage you get because now when you kill enemy you get healed, and it is better than Bloodthirster, which you can get, but I would always get it instead of the Collector since it implies crit now, and you would have too much crit chance you wouldn't use if you would have both those items. And for last item, you can see it here. You can either go for Guardian Angel, Wit's End if again they have a lot of AP and you need healing, or you can go for Serelda's Garage. which works kinda like old Frozen Mallet. And yeah, with that, let's get to abilities. So, your passive, Way of the Hunter. Every second auto attack you deals 50% magic damage as magic damage. Oh my god, sorry. Uh, it's pretty simple. All that I would say about that is that when you do deal damage to champion, you have that second magic damage auto attack stored until you deal it. There's no time wait, just once you use first, the second one is stored. Then we can get to your Q, Mortal Steel. It works just like Yasuo one, at least first you cast. You just step in the direction your mouse is pointing and get a stack of... Get a stack. It is a nice thing. Counts all effects from auto attacks and deals quite significant damage. On 2 stacks, you get this circle around you and you can dash in a direction, again, where your mouse is pointing. If you have a look at the circle, you this circle is just for the shockwave you're emitting. You go always, let's say, somewhere in half of the dash. I would always take this ability second since it's most of your damage. Then we got your W, which I would go for second and max it last. After a short delay, which again decreases with attack speed, as does cooldown, you deal per percentage of enemies max up damage in a cone. The damage is mixed, half is physical, half is magical, and every time you hit an enemy, you get a shield. For champion, the shield is increased, so if you have a look, right now I get all of these, and if I hit only one of them, the shield is only halved. It goes up to 4 champions, if you would like to know details. And yeah, it is a nice ability, but the scaling isn't so great, so always has the last. And now your E. You go into your spirit form, and every time you damage a champion, the damage is stored, and when you return to your body after 5 seconds, you deal them true damage. Thing is that when you use it, you go forward while your spirit goes backward from your original position. So you can use it to go over some thick walls. Thin walls, sorry. Over some thin walls. For example, in Baron Pit, near most of the jungle walls coming into line. And um, okay, you even saw this. And yeah, it is nice and works well with assassin kit you have. So you deal damage to enemy and then safely. In newest patch, the return can be delayed by hard CC. So when you get rooted, you will stay unless the route is over and then return. And lastly, your ultimate. You can see that you will dash in a direction like this. When you hit an enemy, you will teleport behind them. and knock them up. When you do not hit anyone, you just go to the end and can move after. You can hit everyone you can pull everyone you hit towards yourself. So just one more dummy to show. So if I'll dash here, they will all be pulled towards one another. It is a great ability and awesome to starting or saving team fights. I would also like to tell you that when you hit someone just with the tip of the ability, you will still be teleported behind. And that's gonna be everything. If you would happen to get stunned after you cast it, you will still go through the whole animation. So let's say that I would get, I don't know, hit by Morgana's Q. I would still be able to teleport here and knock everyone up. And that's gonna be everything to the abilities. Also, just a few tips. For example, again, just like with Yasuo, if you hit champion with your Q in lane and hit some minion before, you will not be attacked by minions because they do not count it like you attacked champion, but just one of them. So always try to have minion between you and enemy minions between you and enemy champion, so you can hit them with your Q safely. And now let's get into some nice combos. First off, you can always use your Q with flash. So if your target is escaping, you can just press Q and flash afterwards to deal the damage from longer distance. Then I'd say that your Q works really nice with your auto attack because when you do auto attack and then Q, it's really fast. Like you would have to hit it, but just like this. Compared to if you would do Q auto attack, which isn't so slow since I have full build now, but in the early game it's a lot slower. So always try to do it this way. Now, let's do some better stuff. You always want to, when you go into trade, you always want to max your Q for the last stack, then E, Q, and then fight as long as possible until you return. It is great trading way because when you attack your enemy, you will do it really fast thanks to 2 dashes you used. You will immediately be able to go for shield from W, and then when things go wrong, you can just return with your E. And that's how it's gonna look your laning phase. You just wanna stay closer to your tower since you do have 2 dashes, but you don't wanna waste your ultimate on escaping, even though you can if you have to. And your Q dash is really short, like really short. Okay, another way thing you can do is to add your ultimate into this. You will go E, ultimate, Q, and W. And that's gonna be it. Also, one thing to say is that when you use your ultimate, when your E is about to end, it gets delayed. So if you would like to cause some additional damage in a fight, always go for your ultimate and get that additional damage it allows you to deal. And that's gonna be everything to abilities. More to laning phase. You want to stay on, as I said, on your side of the map, farm safely with your Q and W, which both have really long range, and then engage with your E every time you feel you can. Uh, Try to avoid other assassins, since just like Yasuo, you're quite squishy, even though you have a bit bigger shield than Yasuo's passive, so you have some surviving chance. But still, you're quite squishy against other assassins, so try to ban some of them. Zed is doing really well in this season, so probably would go for him. Then, once you hit your level 6, you can either try to kill your laner if you're ahead. If you're even or slightly behind, I would always try to roam to bot lane, where you can pick possibly 2 easy kills, because Yone has great damage, and when someone is behind against him, which bot lane most of the time will be, if you're playing a bit right, you would win. And yeah, in the mid lane, you want to push the you usually want to push alone in the lane and get to your team every time there is an objective fight, because you have a high chance of meeting a lot of enemies there, and you are a bit more team focused than Yasuo. I know that I'm comparing Yone to Yasuo a lot, but come on. And in the late game, you just want to, most of the time, again, go alone and push one lane, possibly on the other side than your team is. So let's say that you secured a pick on someone, let your team do Baron and go push some lane, because they will have to choose if they want to stop you from getting the Baron or you getting one, possibly two towers. And yeah, that is going to be everything. Keep in mind that Yone is one of the best mid laners you can play right now. And have fun. Leave a like if you learned anything new or you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what champion would you like to go for next. And you can subscribe for more content. Petri out.